It is Sunday morning, and you know what that means. It's time for the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara. We got Browns versus Raiders. Shedeur Sanders' first NFL start. 4 teams on bye. Fantasy football implications. Get your questions in using hashtag AskAndy. And, of course, we will build the parlay, partay, ultimate NFL betting ticket for Week 12. Let's get to the show.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, the sickest Cleveland Browns podcast.
Chubb runs, he's to the 10, 15, he's to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There goes Chubb, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Shabba-lubba hub.
It's gonna be sick.
Welcome, everybody. NFL Sunday. Let's go. Who's ready? I'm ready for this one, man. I'm ready. There's in a horrible Browns season, there is a bit of a glimpse of, I won't say hope, but possibility of entertainment, which has been lacking greatly this season. Shedeur Sanders getting the start. Make sure you are clicking notifications on, subscribe to the channel, share, jump in the chat. Let's have some fun today, man. You got your fantasy football questions? Hit me up in the chat here or on X. At AndyMC81, at SickPodBrowns. Use hashtag AskAndy on TikTok and Instagram too. At AndyMC Sports. You'll see my post-game reaction videos there that y'all love. We'll be popping those in there after today's game. Maybe a happy one. Maybe. Why not? Raiders stink too. Both teams 2-8. And like I said, we will get you up to date and keep you up to date on all the latest starts, sits, injury updates when it comes to the fantasy football scene. Remember, when you're setting your fantasy lineups today, the Broncos, Dolphins, Chargers, and Commanders all on bye. So just keep that in mind, and we'll build the NFL Parlay Party ultimate betting ticket brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook throughout the day as well. But let's get to this Browns-Raiders game again. Jump in the chat. And I got to say, too, first, look at this sharp shirt, folks. Professional fantasy football player. Now, you can get this. This is a great Christmas gift. And with the fantasy playoffs coming up, if you're a commissioner or whatever, professional fantasy football player shirt at the Sick Media Store now. Where can you get it? You can get the link directly on my X, on my Twitter page, pinned to the top at AndyMC81. At AndyMC81, you got this one. And there's a sweet fantasy champion shirt. Nice little crown and all that. You can see that right there. Order it. Great for the holidays. All right, let's bring in my guy. He is an award-winning Cleveland sports writer, formerly working with the Cleveland Browns inside the organization himself. It's my old buddy, Matt Florjancic from God's Country, Cleveland, Ohio. Matt, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, Andy. How are you doing today?
Woo, boy. Like I said, Matt, it's at least a chance, I won't say hope, but that we may be entertained, which we were not certainly getting with the Dylan Gabriel's 3-yard behind the line of scrimmage passes and, like 0 points. How are you feeling going into today? Browns against the Raiders, both teams 2-8 and just look terrible.
This is a game only a defensive coach could love, I think. I think it's setting up to be a very interesting day at the office. I think between Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, we probably could have more sacks than points, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what to expect. I think with a full week of practice, hopefully we'll see better from Sanders. I have no idea what to expect from the Raiders, except not good. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I think we're all kind of in wait-and-see mode. We're, like, cautiously optimistic, like, hey, it can't be any worse than what we've seen. But we say that a lot in Cleveland, and it always somehow is a way to be worse. So I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic that at least it could be watchable. I don't like the 20-yard dropbacks to try to avoid sacks, but at least he's willing to attempt to throw the ball down the field. Larvadan should have caught the pass last week. The defender made a hell of a play. You have to tip your cap to him. But we didn't even get to see that with Gabriel. Gabriel is a very I would say he's a slightly shorter version of Tyrod Taylor in the fact that he plays to not make a mistake. He's not going to throw you a bunch of touchdowns. He's not going to throw you a lot of interceptions either. Right. But he's cautious. And
he's a backup, Matt. That's what he is.
To be honest with you, that's boring football. I mean, we're
super boring.
We want to be entertained, and cautious doesn't do it.
No, he is as I thought he was, and I know you the same, coming out and going into the NFL draft of this is a ceiling as a career backup for Dylan Gabriel. Browns could have had a safety, could have had an offensive lineman, could have had a whole bunch of stuff. But no, we took anyway. That's for a different day.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what went into that discussion, debate, and analysis.
Dysfunction.
Like, I understand that the guy has a computer chip for a brain. He's very good at processing, but he's scared.
Processing what, Matt?
He's scared to death.
3-yard passes. 3-yard passes. So what?
I don't disagree with you, brother. I'm just saying. Look, I'm just trying to figure out logically what in heaven's name they were seeing in the evaluation process, other than this kid is programmable and he doesn't make a mistake.
Yeah, which is you could get.
If we've seen anything from Kevin Stefanski, he wants a programmable quarterback, which then totally makes you look at the Watson deal and go, well, that was the absolute antithesis of what your head coach wanted, because he goes on podcasts talking about how he wants to freelance. He doesn't believe in scripting plays. Well, okay, so you were playing, backyard football where you hang a left at the Honda and you run a hook, a pitch route. Like,
we'll throw it under the basketball net. Come on,
you're totally submarining your own head coach at that point, and that's kind of where
that's been the theme.
Yeah, it has been, especially with Stefanski. I just don't see where this whole process was going with Gabriel. I think they desperately didn't want Shedeur Sanders to get on the field, because if he's good, then people are going to be like, why did you wait? And if he's not good, then everybody's like, well, we're talking about the draft anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You can be 2-8 boring. You can be 2-8 exciting. I just want some excitement.
I just want to be watchable.
Matt, me and you have talked before. And both of our wives have questioned us, like, how come you're watching more football? We have to watch other football to remind us that the game is supposed to be entertaining.
I have used that excuse ad nauseum for the last, let's see. I start with the Browns in 2009. For the last 17 years of my career, I've been using that excuse like, no, you don't understand something. I need to see what the game is supposed to look like, because I just spent 3 hours watching it go back to the 1920s when they first introduced the forward pass. It's crazy.
Which seems absolutely foreign to us. So, all right, let's go through a look.
Sorry about the Nat sound there with my Doberman pitcher. She's already game day ready.
She's ready. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
I'll put myself on mute for a second. I'll get her away from the squirrels.
No problem. Away from the squirrels. Let's hope that Shedeur Sanders is able to run away from Max Crosby. This is going to be an interesting ball game. Defensive. I want to put out there, Matt, that this one play, and we'll get to it a little bit later. I'll get to it in the parlay party. One play I am absolutely loving, and I've been right, Matt, on two other of my standalone long shot anytime Browns touchdown bets this season. The first one came with Raheem Rocket Sanders in week 1. I knew he was going to get a touchdown because short yardage, Quinshawn was out. Hit. Then after David Njoku did not get traded, and it was all like, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. I was like, they're getting that guy the ball for a touchdown. Touchdown. Today, Matt, what have we been talking about and hearing? Gage Lavardane, the undrafted rookie out of camp. Shedeur said, that's like the only guy I've been throwing to because he didn't get any practices with the one. Had that ball punched out last week. Matt, at plus 2,031, anytime touchdown, Gage Lavardane. Book it today. That's a payout. He's going to get, if they're throwing a touchdown, Matt, he's getting in the ball. That's his guy. It's like Baker, and remember Hollywood Higgins?
Yeah.
Remember they had that
great relationship because they were the ones that were working together.
Same thing with Sanders and Lavardane, right? I think it's worth a little sprinkle, little dusting of a couple bucks. Why not?
Hey man, you got nothing else to lose. I mean, honestly, it makes the most sense. He's worked with them the longest. He has developed a trust. He actually knows what the guy is doing when he comes out of his breaks. Yep. And that is so underrated as a point of emphasis for any quarterback. You have to know what your guys are doing. You have to trust your guys. And of course, Sanders has not been able to trust anybody because he hasn't played with anybody. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be where the situation gets a little interesting, I think. You're going to have guys that normally probably wouldn't get opportunities that are all of a sudden going to be playmakers because their quarterback trusts them. And trust is a huge thing. And if you are confident that the guy's going to make a play, you're going to go back to him. If he drops the ball on pass number one, you're probably going to go somewhere else until you have to go back to the other guy. It's just kind of the nature of the beast.
Well, Matt, the unfortunate, we know that the national media loves throwing all these wonderful negative Brown stats out at us all the time. Shedeur Sanders, 42nd starting quarterback for the Browns since 1999. Matt, you're at almost the number of presidents as Browns starting quarterbacks in U.S. history compared to since what, 17? What was it, 17, whatever?
1786? 1776, the country was founded, and I think Washington was the first one. I'm not sure when. I know it was in the 1700s.
Official.
But he was the first official one. But in any case, I mean, you're talking, that's a pretty good run. And in all actuality, if you count the two-term presidents, I think the Browns actually have a beat on sheer numbers. Oh, my
gosh. That is wild. Shedeur Sanders. Matt, a little trivia for you. Now, no rookie quarterback for the Browns since 99 making their first start has won their first game. Not a one. Not Tim Couch. Not Baker. Now, Baker came in relief, but the first start actually was against the Raiders, did not win, had that long field goal. Remember that. You go run through, right? Hasn't happened. Do you know the last Browns rookie quarterback to win their first start? It's pre-99, of course.
Yeah, I heard people talking about it on the radio the other day, and I want to say it was Bernie. I want to say it was Bernie Kosar.
Incorrect. It is 1995 under Bill Belichick, Eric Zaire.
I would have never gotten that one, brother. You could have given me 100 guesses and I wouldn't have picked that one.
How about that? That was post-Bernie, Vinny Testaverde era, and then Eric Zaire came in, a sub, one of Bill's many misses and whiffs on picking on draft picks onto the quarterback position. Zaire, sub 6 foot guy, but won his first start. That's the last one who has won their first start as a Browns rookie. That is depressing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But, I mean, that tells you how bad this team is really starved for a quarterback for the last 30 years. I mean, it legitimately is in our generation. There's a whole lost generation of Browns fans that have no idea what good quarterback play is. And to be honest with you, because we were young in the 80s, not that we're still not young, but we were really young in the 80s. Yeah. I would count us in that generation too of people that haven't had consistently good quarterback play from the Browns in our lifetime. I mean, in our
a bit of Bernie, that was it.
Like physical, formative years as Browns fans, none of us have seen it.
No. Let me ask you this quick side note, and then we'll dive a little bit into the defense of this game, and we'll get to make sure fantasy football questions. You can get them in the chat on X at SickPodBrowns. Matt, your favorite 1999 new era Browns quarterback. Now it can be from whatever standpoint. It can be that you like to watch it. You're in the building. You like interacting with them, whatever. Your favorite quarterback since 1999 as a fan, as a worker, whatever.
When I was with the team, it was Hoyer, Brian Hoyer, because he did things that he wasn't supposed to. We were supposed to get blown out in Minnesota. He led a huge comeback.
Yep.
Threw a nice pass to the end zone. They lost their kicker, and Spencer Lanning had to come in and kick extra points.
Spencer Lanning.
I mean, that was probably the best of that era when I worked for the Browns, that 5-year stretch. Overall, it's the guy who got you back to the playoffs. That's Baker Mayfield, and that's an easy one.
That's it, man. I got two. Baker, obviously, as I look every day, Matt, in my game used ball. Baker Mayfield breaking the rookie touchdown record in his year with 27. The Funko Pop back there, the rookie card up there. So Baker for sure, because he gave us hope. When he came in that Jets game and the fridges broke, the dilly, the fridges broke, and a tear in my eye, as Ric Flair would say. And he gave us hope, and then the Browns screwed him. The other favorite, for 1 year, and it was the first year my dad and I went down to a Browns game, 2007, Derek Anderson. Boy, was that a fun.
Yeah, DA.
Was that a team?
Yeah.
Was that a team? Braylon
that
Edwards,
team was
Winslow,
that team could score points.
Dude, a lot. That was that probably offensively was the most fun Browns season I can remember, because they'd be popping. They give up 30, they'd score 35, and they just missed the playoffs on a stupid tiebreaker.
Yeah, and if you look
6.
at, if history is showing us anything, the three guys that we mentioned, so I mentioned Hoyer and Baker, and you mentioned Baker and DA. So we had 3 different guys.
Yeah.
All of them had success and were usurped by stupidity within the organization.
Mm-hmm. Got in their own
Anderson, they drafted Brady Quinn, who had $1 million body and a 10-cent arm.
Terrible.
And he thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, which I guess at some point at some level, you have to think that if you're a professional quarterback, but also you should be a little bit of a realist to know that
he was terrible.
Were not great. Then Hoyer was on a good run. Oh, we got to start Johnny. Why? They were 7-4. They finished 7-9. Like that was
texting
a really
down
great plan.
from Ray Farmer, one of the worst GMs in team history. Debacle.
And imagine the ground that covers when you say that. Just think about that, brother. Seriously.
Needless to say, Ray Farmer has not had another general manager job in the NFL
and he won't. He won't, because, and you know what? The funny thing is, people in the media, myself included, we politic for him. We're like, hey, this guy might he can't be any worse than Lombardi. Whoops. Guess I was wrong on that one. But then
that's like you said, Matt. Anytime you're like, it can't be worse,
it gets
and then
worse.
It's like, oh.
Yeah. They're like, oh, really? Watch this. Yeah, because every good sentence starts with every good news story starts with a guy saying, watch this.
Watch this. Oh, my gosh.
And then you look at what they did with Baker, and they ran him out of town. They're like, we need an adult in the room. And then they go get Watson. And that's an even
charges and
a PR nightmare. You took the hit, and you didn't even win games. You won a handful over 4 years.
Matt, what I said was the Browns couldn't even sell their soul to the devil right. Because in the stories, you sell your soul to the devil. You get what you want at first, something good. You're like, hey, this is good. And then you pay the price. The Browns can't even sell their soul right. They just got all the bad.
Right.
You can't even sell your soul properly. It's
insane.
Mean,
there are people in Houston. The running joke of Texans fans is, have you thanked the Browns fan today?
Yeah.
Have you thanked the Browns today? Like, are you serious? Like, this couldn't have worked out any worse.
Matt, no one builds other teams better than Andrew Berry.
Yeah.
Well, but he's been GM of the year for the Texans, GM of the year potentially for the Bengals with Joe Flacco. Nobody helps other teams more than Andrew Berry.
You remember when that deal was made, they said we view this as a 10-year deal. And he wasn't wrong in the fact that the contract was worth 5. They've not extended it, but they've kicked the can down the road from a cap standpoint where it's now like a 9-year deal that you'll be paying off. But you also messed yourself up on draft picks too. Yes. So he wasn't kidding. And everybody's like, oh, that means they got their franchise guy. I'm like, no, that means if it fails, it's epic and you're screwed for another 5 years. And here we are. 4 years into that deal. It's the worst in football history. You're never going to convince me otherwise. They gave up 3 firsts.
I think sport history, Matt. I really do.
It's hard-pressed to figure out one that could be worse, but that one definitely is, at least in its own sport. I'd have to analyze some of the worst ones all time of all sports, but in his sport, the only one that people say that could be worse is the Herschel Walker trade.
But no way, because it didn't cripple the Cowboys for a decade.
Sure. It actually helped them
get the other way.
It actually helped them get the Cowboys get the triplets, and the Vikings, I mean, they've still been relevant.
Yeah,
the Browns aren't relevant. No, they're not even the most relevant team in their own state.
Oh my gosh! And it's $80 million cap hit next year as well. It's a complete debacle. Don't worry. Hey, maybe Paul DePodesta with Colorado can have the worst trade in baseball history too. He's great at losing, right?
Bye, Paul. I said it from day one when they hired him. I remember actually I got into an argument with my boss at the time. Perfectly timed barks from the dog. Marley, relax.
Marley's anti-DePodesta too. I agree, girl.
Marley saw a glimpse of DePodesta, which is probably more than any one of us have, and she's upset. She says goodbye too, but I said that from day one that was going to be a bad move, and the guy didn't know anything about football. and none of his systems were in place. And when they were in place in a sport that he did know, it wasn't good. It wasn't successful. 19 years, he had 5 division titles, not world titles, not league championships, 5 division titles. That's you have a 25% batting average and you're considered elite at what you do. Whoo, sign me up for that job because I would love to have it.
Matt, we should all pray to fail as financially successful as Paul DePodesta. I don't know if there's a bigger, richer, overrated loser at what he does than Paul DePodesta.
You talk about
I'm glad he's
failing up the ladder. Holy cow. That dude wrote the book on it. Oh, I'm sorry, the screenplay on it. That's
movie about losing. Movie about losers.
It's just
you lost.
I understand you have to compete how you have to compete when ownership puts restraints on you. But here's the thing. It never resulted in winning the whole thing. You lost to teams that had better budgets, had more talent, probably talent that you helped grow and trade away.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's where I thought from day one, this is going to be a disaster. And my boss is like, write a piece about why this is going to be successful. I said, that's a problem for me. And she's like, why? I said, because I don't think it's going to be.
No.
And she's like, okay, write 2 columns then. Write the good side and how it could fail. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I did. That's what they got. And I think
one was meaty. Yeah.
I think I'm not trying to brag, but there are certain times where you see moves getting made and you just know instinctually because you've been around it long enough as a fan or as a media member, you're like, there's no way this is going to work.
And you wonder how the decision makers come to that. But I've seen some fantasy football questions in the chat. We'll get to that in a little bit. Matt, let's talk about Myles Garrett in this game and the season he's having. And me and you both in the past have been kind of critical of Myles at times. Not talent coming out everywhere, but it was, is he selfish? Is he a leader? Is he, he's driving too fast and all that? Is he gets the big payday? Is he just going to mail it in? Well, whatever it is, full credit to Myles Garrett. This guy is having a historic year. And Matt, I just tell people, like, as you get older, I like to, if I see something and it's like greatness, I try I'm going to really try to drink it in. We are seeing one of the greatest season performances of all time from a defensive player in the NFL, certainly from a Cleveland Browns defender. And like we talk about how bad you mentioned how bad the Browns offensive line is. The Raiders O-line was bad to begin with. Their 2 best bad O-linemen are out too. Myles could have another 3-sack day, maybe more.
Well, I hope so because I have him on my fantasy team, and he's been lights out for me. I think he's put up a couple of 28-point performances, and I'm not surprised in the least. This is the best IDP I could have drafted.
But Geno Smith, one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL. Poor Ashton Giante, for talking about fantasy football. I got him on a temptation. The guy's getting hit behind scrimmage. He's such a talent, but what a waste.
Yeah, I feel sorry for players like that who have the talent, but it's a true team game.
Same with Judkins.
Yeah, Judkins I think has had a little bit more success, but Genty's getting his clock cleaned every single time. The guys are practically taking the handoffs before he gets the hands on the ball. So right. I agree with you. I think Myles Garrett could have another whale of a ball game. I'm kind of counting on it. I'm hoping on it. I will give him full credit, full stop. I'm not the biggest fan of Myles Garrett. From a talent standpoint, I think it's there. I sometimes question where his head was at, some of the decisions he would make off the field, with driving too fast and really not learning from those mistakes. He's putting himself and other people in danger, and I've always kind of worried about that. But full credit to him for this year, what he's been able to do. I think it's pretty clear that he is going to be a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year. If he doesn't win it, I think it has to go to Kyle Hamilton from Baltimore because that dude is just a game wrecker. He's a safety that plays like a defensive end. I think he's really the only one that could probably take the crown from Myles, but I think it's Myles' to lose.
He's the heavy favorite on the DraftKings Sportsbook, Matt. Like he's like minus 350.
Yeah, he's got to be. Okay, so usually when guys sign a big contract, I call it going on the fat and happy tour. Because all of a sudden they get lazy, they don't hard, the money spoiled them, and everything bad that comes with that. And all of a sudden, Myles Garrett is playing the best of his career.
Amped it up.
And it's coming at the perfect time for him. you know, it really sucks that the Browns are the best at spoiling generational talents. I think I wouldn't call Nick Chubb a generational talent from a running back standpoint, but the guy was the most solid running back he had definitely in, my cognizant years of Browns football. And I don't think that number is particularly close. You had spot years where you had Jamal Lewis, couple of 1,000-yard seasons. Peyton Hillis had a 1,000-yard season, but consistently over like a 5 to 7 year stretch.
Yeah.
Nobody in my lifetime's done it better than Nick Chubb.
Agreed.
And I look at things from when I started watching football in like the early 90s. So, yes, I missed, most of Kevin Mack, Ernest Biner. Those guys were good.
Days.
And they were outstanding dudes. Their stats tell the story. I mean, both went for 1,000 in the same season. That's absolutely incredible. But in this iteration of Browns, so the expansion era of Browns, nobody worked harder than Nick Chubb. And they did him dirty, and they wasted his career. And then you look at Myles Garrett and Joe Thomas. Those two are generational talents, and they just get wasted.
Even with a average or below average offense, you'd be winning this division. It's shockingly frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, that's how bad it is. So Flacco did not have a good first 4 games here. There's no two ways about it. Then he goes
because of a multiple play calling back, like multiple levels of
play calling and zero help from wide receivers.
Yeah,
we arguably have the worst wide receiver room in football, and
the Raiders might be the only worst one. They have Trey Tucker, and that's it.
Yeah,
or it's a tie.
Yeah, but we still have Jerry Jeudy who can't catch a cold.
Yeah.
Like he's just not a good focused receiver. You have great tight ends. I think Fannin, yes, he's had some issues with key drops or a couple of fumbles here and there, but I think that there's enough proof in the pudding to say that this kid could be good.
Yeah.
And Njoku is chiseled out of granite, and he makes the most difficult plays, and then he'll have a ball that hits him in the hands and he can't catch it. It's just one of those things. It's been since day one. I've watched him since day one at practice.
20 years old.
He works hard, he tries hard, and he can make some really good plays, but then he'll have one that makes you shake your head. But outside of those two guys and whatever you can get out of the running backs catching the football, they do not have a consistent threat, which makes it very difficult for a quarterback, whether it's Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel or Joe Flacco for that matter. And you look and you go, now granted, the Bengals have generational talent wide receivers in T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but still, if you give Flacco even a modicum of a competent wide receiver, he could have won ball games for you.
Absolutely.
And then you take him out of the lineup when he is a veteran who can get these guys to work, and you give the reins over to a rookie, and he's still throwing to the same guys. I don't know what you expected to be different. Like, how did you expect it to be better?
Exactly.
Dylan Gabriel wasn't going to be a guy that could win you games with his legs because
he has no elite physical traits.
You can't get the ball down the field.
Yeah.
For him to impact the game with his legs like that.
Yeah. Can't do it. Shedeur at least will take some chances here. Boy, it's going to be okay, Matt. Betting for this game, and then we'll let you go. And by the way, we mentioned the Bengals. Jamar Chase, remember, folks, out for spitting. How's that having your fantasy football team? You happy? Huh? T. Higgins must play, of course. Andre Yusevich, the IO name. It's pronounced like 3 different ways.
Yosivas. Yeah.
Yosivach, whatever the heck. Hopefully, I liked him coming out of the draft out of Princeton. Hopefully, he takes that step up. I think he has a lot of talent. He might be a sneaky play for your fantasy team.
That might be the first nice thing you've said about an Ivy League guy on this show.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Oh my God. You know what? We're taking we're going to take the under on this Browns game, 36.5. The win. Oh, let's just stick with the over under. Who knows? It's going to be a dog. You know what? Let's see if there's some sack options here. Let's see if there's we can tack those on. Because that's going to be, I think, the interesting part of this game. Okay. To record a sack, Max Crosby and Myles Garrett, they're multiple. I want to see multiple sacks. It's one sack. It's yeah. We'll put Max Crosby is more favored to have a sack than Myles Garrett. That's bizarre. I'm going to double up.
Both offensive lines are bad.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Crosby and Garrett both to get sacks. So we're at 3 for that game now. Okay. And then we'll add on to that a little bit later on. But Matt, before we let you go, what is your prediction for this game, score-wise, and how do we think Shedeur is going to look?
I think with a week of practice, he'll look competent.
Okay.
I think there are going to be plays that everybody is like, oh God, why did he do this? Like those continued dropbacks that take forever and 5 minutes to get the ball out. But I think there's going to be plays where he's like, you know what? They should have had that one, or they did get that one. And I think we saw that last week. Yeah, the numbers were crap, but I mean, the guy was thrown into the fire right at the end of the first half, and he did the best he could with what he had, and had some guys made some plays when the ball was put on him. We're talking about a different stretch there. I mean, the Ravens did everything in their power to give the Browns the game, and the Browns were like, you know what, we're good.
Yeah, no.
We'll take the L.
Myles Garrett game record, that means nothing. Just so frustrating.
I mean, he totally wrecked that game, and they still screwed it up. But I think we'll see better play from Sanders. I think there's going to be flash plays where he looks good. There's going to be probably a turnover or two where you're like, what was he seeing there? But it's just the nature of the beast. I'd rather have somebody willing to risk a turnover if it means giving us a higher potential for a touchdown. I know that sounds weird, but I want a guy who's at least going to give us a chance. I don't.
Otherwise, you stack the box. Matt, we saw like 10 guys all on the line from the Ravens. They're like, have at it, pal.
Right.
And they couldn't do it.
Realistically, that you have to avoid those situations. So I give Sanders an opportunity. I'd say probably over 50% completion. I'd say about 180 yards, maybe 200 of total offense, and I'll give him 1 touchdown.
Gage Lavardane, and we'll cash in on that check.
But exactly. I think that's a really good play. If you're going to take anybody, him or Fannin would probably be the 2 guys I would go for. But I think at the end of the day, I still think they find a way to screw it up. Give me the Raiders at 13-10.
Boy, and the Browns, I believe it's since 2012 have not won in the Pacific time zone. Another fun stat, Matt.
2010 was the last win?
12, I believe.
12. I was on that trip. I made all the trips.
The Raiders made
that trip.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that story. They were like all quite wonky with you in Oakland, right?
Oh, dude, I loved it. One of the best stories I had. We were playing at Oakland Coliseum, and I'm wearing my black suit. I had a silver tie on, and I got to a point where I would wear the opponent colors because every time I did, the Browns played better. So me being the superstitious sports fan I am was like, okay, if they're playing the Cowboys, I'll wear a blue shirt. Actually, I didn't for the Cowboys because I don't like the Cowboys. But anyway, I had my Browns lanyard on, and I walked past the black hole, and they started heckling me, and I just started busting out laughing because they are just some of the most brutal fans you've ever seen. Yeah. And some of the things that they said, I was just cracking up at, man. I'm like, oh, man, this is great. I get to the Browns sideline, and everybody's like, why are you smiling? You just walked past the black hole. I said, I live to tell the tale, man. That's why I'm smiling. I got heckled, and they thought enough of me to heckle me. That's awesome.
Isn't that
I'm
nice?
just the staff writer, man, and I'm getting heckled by the Raider fans. I love it.
That's right. Well, we'll see how they do today, man. Let's hope for some entertaining, maybe a flash of hope with Shedeur Sanders. The kid wants to be legendary. All his fans saying he just needs a chance. He got a full week. Hopefully a game plan specific. Give him some quick outs to just get the ball out of his hand quick and not have to run for his life in the back.
Sure.
And let's hope for it, man. Let's have a good fun day of football. 4:00 start.
Yeah, let's just make it entertaining. Let's just get one on the board and feel good about life.
Exactly. Let's have a victory Monday. All right, buddy. Tell people
into the American Thanksgiving holiday with a positive vibe going.
I like it. Tell people where they can find you. You're writing, you're doing commentary, you're all over the place.
Yeah, busy times for sure. We're switching over from football to basketball and wrestling season at the college level here. So you can find my work at Matt Florjancic on Twitter, at Matt Flo Sports on Instagram.
Love it, buddy. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, dude. Always a pleasure. Look forward to talking with you soon. Have a good one.
Absolutely. Go Browns. See you, buddy. All right, there he goes, Matt Florjancic. You heard him on social at Matt Florjancic on X, at Matt Flo Sports on Instagram. Award-winning Cleveland sports writer, former staff writer with the Cleveland Browns in the building. Okay, we got some fantasy football updates for you. I want to run through these. So now remember too, Bailey Zappi elevated to be backup quarterback for the Browns today. Good. Oh, Bailey's happy. Hooray. Other injury notables that we have so far. Josh Jacobs is going to be a true game time decision, as in on the field, they will decide if he's playing or not. They have a Thursday game. I as a Josh Jacobs owner, I have him on the bench. If he plays, I don't think it'll be much. And you got a Thursday Thanksgiving game on a short week, just bench him. And then you're going with the Emmanuel Wilson as the backup for your play. Trayman Edmonds and Roshan Johnson on IR for the Bears. Let's see. Oh, Brenton Strange, tight end for the Jaguars, activated, is going to play against the Cardinals. He was having a nice, quiet little season here. I'm not saying you rush out to play him, but maybe you pick him up. You see, if you're in tight end trouble, like I'd rather a Harold Fannin Jr. for the Browns today, but Brenton Strange did pop in the past, and maybe somebody to consider adding on to your roster. Not that anyone's grabbing Brandon Cooks, but he cleared waivers from the Saints. Torrey Horton on injured reserve for the Seahawks. If you're in kicking trouble, Eddie Pinheiro out for the 49ers against the Panthers on Monday. So if he's your kicker, get another kicker. Yeah, Packers, Josh Jacobs, going to work out beforehand. Kenneth Walker, listed as questionable for Sunday, is expected to play against the Titans. Ramondre Stevenson, questionable, is expected to play against the Bengals. Alvin Kamara, questionable for the Saints. Ankle injury, is expected to play for the Falcons. Chris Godwin hasn't played since October 5th, listed as questionable, is expected to play versus the Rams. A fibula injury. I don't want to play Chris Godwin. I just think they're going to coming back off of an injury again. Man, you got Buka. There's too many pieces now. Bucky Irving out again, is expected to be back next week. Looked like he had a chance to play. So Rashad White and Sean Tucker are your plays there. Boy, just a cannibalistic situation when it comes to running back position. Aaron Rodgers pushing to play today against the Bears with that wrist injury. That is dicey all around. I wouldn't be playing Aaron Rodgers as a just in case. Mason Rudolph, barf. Jalen Warren, nice play today at running back. Probably going to go run heavy, I would think. Let's see. And by the way, congratulations, Alex Wright, at contract extension for the Browns, 3-year extension. Good for him. Has had a great season. Let's hope he can keep cooking. Now, he's banged up. We'll see if he plays today. Let's see. Dak Prescott. Interesting note. Dak Prescott just 160 passing yards away from moving past Tony Romo as the Cowboys' all-time passing leader. Dak Prescott, nice fantasy play today. I like Daniel Jones a bit better. And I think injury-wise, we're kind of up to date on that. And remember, if you got your questions, you can pop them in the chat on X at SickPodBrowns, at AndyMC81. Let's just see any updates. Okay, this coming a few minutes ago. Aaron Rodgers arrived at Soldier Field 20 minutes ago, walked lap around the field, flipped off a couple of the cameras that were filming and went back inside. Class act. Used his right hand to flip the bird, so unclear if he could do it with his left. Aaron Rodgers is a interesting cat. And fantastic news on Bernie Kosar, of course, getting that liver transplant. God bless you, Bernie. We love you. Okay. Now, I want to build out our ticket here. Kirk Cousins, by the way, in Atlanta, as you may know, is starting. Does that Drake London out? I'm only doing Bijan today, man. Kirk Cousins, eesh. Let's build our ticket here, okay? And we'll do some fantasy plays along the way. So we got the 3 beat for the Browns. Separate bet, the Gage Leverdane anytime touchdown plus 2,031, okay? That's when I bet it yesterday. That's standalone. In this game, we're taking over under 36.5 under for Browns Raiders. Also add on Myles Garrett and Max Crosby anytime sacks. Now, in addition to that, we got Patriots, Bengals. Patriots, 7.5 point favorites. Joe Burrow not playing. Over under 50.5. I'm thinking, you know what? Let's look at a receiver prop here. Because I think anytime touchdown for T. Higgins makes sense. But receiving props for, let's see if Andre Yisevich is there. Receiving yards. Over 15 yards is 530. Over 20 yards is 340. Do I want to be basing my ticket on that? Ooh. You know what? Let's play it safe. We'll go minus 530 because we're building a ticket. So we'll go a little safe. I don't like this line or games to play because it could go a few different ways. I don't particularly like that one. Steelers, Bears. Again, we don't know what's going to be happening. It's in Chicago. I think we take the Bears to win. Bears 2.5. We're getting better money for the Bears to win, minus 115. I think we go Chicago. Chicago to cover. Ravens, Jets. Ravens by 13.5. Oof. Not that I like what the Jets can do. We'll take the Ravens straight up. Seahawks, Titans, got to take Seahawks on the road. Seahawks straight up. Giants and Lions. Lions defense banged up. 13.5 seems like it might be a little excessive. Let's take the Lions straight up. We'll do a little safe ticket, but we'll have a lot of spots on it. Colts and Chiefs. Chiefs are not in a playoff spot right now, folks. Like they're not in a playoff spot, which is wild. I think when you're looking at, and actually, let's go Vikings, Packers first. Aaron Jones is the play over Mason. Okay. You got to play Justin Jefferson. I know it's not pretty with the quarterback situation. Josh Jacobs, I would stay clear from. Manuel Wilson is the play there. Christian Watson, my favorite wide receiver to start in your fantasy team for that one. Packers, Vikings, 6.5. Let's take the Packers straight up. Colts, Chiefs, I don't want any part of that game. Jags, Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett. The Jags are 2.5-point road favorites. I think we do a little Jacoby action here because he has been sensational. Jacoby Brissett, alternate passing yards. Let's see. For him to throw over 200 yards, it's minus 400. We're clicking on that. The result of the game, Falcons, Saints, barf with Kirk Cousins. Saints are the favorites. That's how little they think of Kirk Cousins. Saints, Alvin Kamara, like I said, should play. Got to start him. I actually like fantasy-wise, if you're in a 2 QB league, Tyler Shuck over, let's say, a Kirk Cousins. Popped a little bit. Fantasy point-wise. Gave you a little hope. So I think Tyler Shuck could be a desperation play from that standpoint. I don't want to bet on that. Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles 3-point favorites. Eagles winning ugly. Cowboys, the defense. Ooh. I think we'll take Eagles road favorites straight up to win that. That'll be tough. Buccaneers, Rams. Boy, that'll be a fun one. Baker against the team that helped with his resurgence. Rams look unstoppable. Touchdown favorite. Going to stay away. But 49.5 over under. 25. I think we go over. Minus 108 in that game. Panthers, 49ers. Panthers are spunky. I don't want to touch it. And then we'll stick with that one. That gives us a 12-slip ticket. Now, Panthers. Now, for 49ers, Brock Purdy, you got to play, right? Kind of your usual suspects there. Panthers, gosh, I just don't want to trust Bryce Young at all. No interest. No interest. Let's see what this is. Oh, and depending, you might be able to get a boost, right? Plus 4,832 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. See if you can get a booster on there. Maybe you get a little something. $10 wager on our 12 ticket wins us $483.25. Not bad, right? Not bad. I think that's worth a sprinkle. So we'll have that on there. And guess what, folks? This is where you can have a lot of fun on game day here, watching the Browns, watching whatever. Week 12, it is kicking off, and it's coming soon, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout. We're DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And this isn't just football. First touchdown fireworks, anytime TD rushes, live bets that ride every momentum shift. DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. New customers, this one is for you. You bet just $5, maybe on our parlay party. NFL Week 12 Ultimate Betting Ticket, right? $5, get $300 in bonus bets instantly, plus grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 6sports. That's code 6sports to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
There you go, folks. And remember, perfect for the holiday season, your professional fantasy football player at the Sick Media store. Also, you can get your fantasy champion shirt. Some cool, it has a nice crown, it's very nice. Some cool Browns and Ohio State gear as well. You can find the link direct on my X on Twitter at AndyMC81. It's the pinned tweet. Go to the link, grab it. Fits great, feels great. Ultimate shirt here. Professional fantasy football player, and you get your fantasy champion shirt and all that good stuff. But check it out pinned on my X profile at AndyMC81. Make sure you're subscribing, notifications on, share it, all that good stuff. Any other fantasy questions or NFL best bet tips or whatever you want? Remember, plus 2,031 Gage Laverdane anytime tutty today for the Browns. It's my ultimate pick of the week. All right. Hit me up on X at AndyMC81, at SickPodBrowns, Instagram and TikTok, where you'll find my post-game reaction videos at AndyMC Sports. Thanks so much to Cleveland sports writer Matt Florjancic, to producer Shane, and all of you. I'm Andy McNamara. Come on, Shedeur Sanders. Go legendary, brother. Let's go. And until next time, go Browns.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.